Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 297 of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, Knowing Wheel is back. We return today to preview the Canadian Grand Prix, of course. If you missed out on the episode that went live last week, we went back through, we had a look at some of our early season predictions. I would highly recommend doing so. But as always, I'm joined by Jamie183, the man that believes the Madrid ring is not going to happen. And then literally the day after the podcast went live, Formula 1 did a load of promo regarding the Madrid ring.
Yeah.
So I didn't need to fly out there and see it either, which I guess is good news.
Well, I guess so. I did notice that it's coming together like very tight to the deadline. Although usually when this sort of thing happens, they do get it done. If you think I remember Kota, it was still like mostly sand and gravel until about 4 months before it started in 2012.
Yes.
So it might happen. I'll admit. But if it doesn't, I need like a medal for being like the Oracle. So.
Hang on a minute, I thought you were giving me the medal for being an oracle because I've been bagging on about sustainable fuels for the better part of 5 years.
Yeah, maybe. But then, yeah, that's a lot more predictable, I think, than a random circuit wouldn't happen just because it's being built by the Spanish. So
Fair enough.
Anyway,
fair enough.
Let's move on.
I mean, we've got quite a lot to talk about, Jamie. We've got quite a lot to get through today. Finally, I mean, we kind of said this, especially with kind of some of the breaks early on in the season. It feels like Montreal this weekend is hopefully the start of F1 normality this year, until maybe right towards the end of the season, depending on what's going on in the Middle East. But the European races should run smoothly now, we hope. So, of course, we've got a race this weekend, we've got a break week, then we basically got a double header, break week, double header, break week, double header, break week, obviously into the summer break, don't we?
Yeah.
So, hopefully now Formula 1 is back for real. And there are apparently some more upgrades coming to Montreal this weekend. The big one, Mercedes apparently are bringing a motherload of upgrades. They didn't really bring any to Miami. They kind of wanted to suss out their competition, but now they're going to bring some performance.
Yeah, and that's quite bad news for the rest of the grid because obviously Ferrari and McLaren, especially McLaren, bought upgrades to Miami, and they were both, certainly McLaren were on the money with pace. I think they probably should have won the Grand Prix with one of their cars.
Easily could have.
Yeah, and obviously they did get a 1-2 in the sprint. So it's bad news that Mercedes, if their upgrades work, which is never a given, especially with Mercedes in the last 4 years, which is weird to say actually, but to be fair, that has been the case. If the upgrades work, it could spell bad news for the rest of the competition at the front of the grid.
Yes, yeah, it will be very, very interesting. Obviously, we're going to be keeping a close eye on that as we head into the weekend. I mean, it's hopefully, for their drivers' sake, good news for the pair of them. But we were talking about this a little bit pre-show. I feel like this weekend, George Russell, if Mercedes are the best car, it is a must-win race for him.
It feels like it, yeah. He certainly has to be the quicker of the Mercedes. I think if he gets really bad luck again, but he's the quicker driver, I think he can accept that. If he gets pure outclassed by Antonelli like he did in Miami, and in Suzuka to some extent, I think Russell will need to have a long hard look at himself, and if he wants to win this championship, he's got to get on top of his teammate, because it really is going Antonelli's way at the moment. Obviously 3 wins out of 4, 3 wins in a row at the moment for Antonelli. If he doesn't put a stop to that, the gap's just going to keep growing and growing, and it could be over a race win after this weekend if Antonelli wins the race. The points gap,
and let's not forget, George Russell hasn't got a podium in the last 2 races either.
Which is insane, given that his teammates won them both.
Yeah. I mean, this is the big thing, isn't it? I mean, we kind of spoke about this after Japan, didn't we? We were like, oh, George has got some time now to go away, kind of regroup, refocus, sit down, kind of go, I've been a bit unlucky. That's part of Formula 1 sometimes. That's part of racing sometimes. Ask Max Verstappen last weekend at Nürburgring.
Thank you.
We then said, like, Miami, he's got to get back on it. It was the first time really this season where it felt like Russell really had no excuse. Antonelli just wiped the floor with him. And I mean, the gap, I think, by the end of the race, it was something ridiculous, like 28 seconds, I want to say, between Kimi and George.
Yeah, and given there was so much battling for the podium between the likes of Leclerc and Piastri, it was an open door.
43 seconds, sorry. It was 27 back to Oscar.
It was an open door for Russell to snag P3. I think Norris was probably too far gone, really. Obviously, Piastri should have been higher if he qualified better. But the way the race played out, with Leclerc and Piastri costing each other so much time, and obviously Verstappen was in and about there as well, Russell really should have just been in that gap between second and third, 100%. So
yeah, I mean, there were apparently he did pick up a bit of damage.
Yeah, but they always say that when people have poor races. They always say that.
He's lost 20 points of downforce or something like that, isn't it? But either way, to finish half a lap behind your teammate when you're meant to be in a championship battle like this, and of course with other cars between you, was disastrous.
And it is one of Anthony's stronger tracks. Obviously, he got sprint pole there last year. Should have probably got a podium in one of the races last year. And Canada's one of George Russell's best tracks. Obviously, he got pole in 24 and then got pole and win last year. Is that right?
Yes,
I think that's right.
Yeah, back-to-back pole positions.
So he should.
Did he win? Did he win the race? No, Max won the race in 24, didn't he?
24, which he shouldn't have. But that was just Max in 24. He just won every race in the first half of the season when he shouldn't have. So
I know he still had the best car early on.
For 5 races he did, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, and then Canada was like round 7, wasn't it?
It was around 9, I believe. But yeah.
Oh, we had Spain, didn't we? Yeah, Monaco. We had that weird Monaco and Spain, then back to Canada, didn't we?
Yeah.
It is, a bit weird still. But yeah, like we said though, for George Russell, if Mercedes are the quickest car, it's a must-win. If they aren't the quickest car, he needs to get back ahead of Antonelli. Because let's not forget, Antonelli got his first F1 podium here last season. So it wasn't a bad track for him last campaign either. But he was, in the ground effect era, a weirdly good track for Mercedes because it was always quite cold.
And a weirdly bad track for the likes of McLaren. So, yeah.
Yes, but again, because of how cold it was last year, wasn't it? It was just the fact McLaren was so good on their tyres normally that they just couldn't fire them up.
And then Norris crashed into his teammate, obviously, last year. So.
And then Norris did also just decide to crash into the back of Oscar for some reason.
That wasn't ideal.
No, suboptimal. It is also a sprint weekend, Jamie, and Formula 2 is back.
Is it?
There's quite a lot going on. Yeah, it's really odd this year with the sprints, because obviously, again, where I play the F1 games so much, I'm so used to most of the sprint races being right at the end of the year. After this weekend, we're already halfway through the sprints. We got one at Silverstone, one at Zandvoort, one at Singapore, and then those final 6 races, if we get them all, no sprints at all.
Interesting. Well, I guess they're trying to avoid the prospect of having a title decided on a Saturday, aren't they?
A sprint champion once again, like Max did 2 years in a row. Yeah. How the Qatar sprint, despite the fact he's never won it, it became arguably where he's seen his most success in a roundabout way.
You know how, like, when it's like Michael Schumacher, all of like Ayrton Senna, they all won at Suzuka. Generally, was like the iconic track for some of their iconic championships. Max's is just Qatar sprint on a Saturday.
Qatar Saturday night.
Yeah, never mind. So sprints are back. That means there's qualifying tonight as we record this for sprint race.
Yep.
I've forgotten there was a sprint race. Canada is a weirdly, I don't know, in like our youth when we were watching F1, it was always a great track for the racing because the tyre wear was usually really high.
Yes.
But now, it doesn't, with DRS era, it kind of went away from that because it almost was too difficult to follow.
Do you know what's actually, I think, ruined it more as well, which you could say about a lot of venues?
What's that?
Formula 1 cars and the technology on them has made the cars too drivable for a circuit like Montreal to be, unless it rains. But even then, actually, Montreal's horrible when it rains because it's just one groove, isn't it?
Yeah, but wet races,
we kind of find everybody has to stick in a line all day.
I'm never going to complain about a wet race, to be honest. So
No. I feel like, though, this year, with the overtake mode, everything like that, there's an opportunity for it to deliver some. It's either going to be a great sprint race that we hang on to now for like 3-4 years, like we did with Brazil, or going to be just one and done.
It's probably a somewhat difficult track to manage the battery because the middle sector is very twisty, obviously, but it's nothing like crazy heavy braking zones, apart from obviously the hairpin before the back straight and maybe turn 1 and 2. The rest of it's very short braking zones. Yeah,
you've got they're quite hard braking zones, but you haven't got that many braking zones, and they also, of course, lead on to straights where you will absolutely use all that energy again.
Yeah, so we'll see.
But I think that could hopefully make things more interesting when it comes to battery, kind of where you use it around the lap. And I think that's going to be really, really interesting to see where there's differences.
The Miami changes we haven't seen a normal-ish track yet. I don't know if Canada counts a
Miami
normal track.
was good for the cars.
Yeah, it was, which is frustrating because it means we're going to stay there forever. But
we're staying there forever anyway, sir.
True.
Don't you worry.
We will see if Canada lives up to the same level or if we're back to super clipping on qualifying laps. I do hope not.
I think there's a chance we will be here. I mean, it's a short lap, though, at least, in Montreal. So that should help a little bit. It's got to be... I guess Australia's pretty short as well, but it's got to be the shortest lap we've gone to so far this year, hasn't it? By a decent margin.
Yeah, it usually is down there, isn't it? Austria's generally the shortest.
Austria, yeah, then you kind of got, obviously, Monaco, Canada, all kind of around that 110 mark, isn't it? Around the 70
Maybe
seconds.
I'm being an idiot here, because I don't know my rules well enough. But the deployment stays flat, doesn't it? In terms of the length of lap has nothing to do with it. Or
you're only allowed to use a certain amount of energy a lap.
So,
but that doesn't change track.
But that amount of energy is the same at Austria as it is at Spa.
Yes.
That seems a bit strange to me.
Well, they have said they're going to tweak it, haven't they? For more energy stuff. Like Spa will be awful.
Spa would be so awful if you have the same number of same amount of power as you do at like Monaco or Austria. At Spa, the whole middle sector, Pouon is done. Stavolo done. Like, there's nothing fun in Spa anymore if you're not using enough energy. So
you will just be recharging the pack into all of those near flat out corners to make them flat out, won't you?
Yeah, and Max Verstappen will be crying his eyes out because it's no longer fun. Which I agree with. So yeah,
fair enough. Obviously we'll do predictions at the end of the episode as well. But yeah, F2's obviously back as well, Jamie. I'm looking forward to that. What will Alex Dunn do this weekend? That's silly.
You know what? I have a soft spot for Alex Dunn.
I did, and then he started doing silly stuff all the time.
Well, I know he's a bit of a liability, but I kind of, in a way, I don't know why, but I like it. So, I just think he's probably the fastest driver on that grid. He just needs to calm down.
That's largely irrelevant when you wipe out your teammate.
Yeah, it's true. He is 10th in the championship at the moment, level with Ollie Goethe. So,
wow.
Yeah, but it's quite close at the top. Rafa Kamara, I think, also is definitely destined for Formula One in the future. Probably even next year, really, if Ferrari get their way.
If he wins the title this year, I think it'll be hard to argue against it. If he doesn't win the title this year, I'm worried that because of his age, it might fizzle out. He could end up a bit like a Teo Pourchaire.
How old is he?
But the other way around, because Teo was too young. No, Kamara's
he's 21.
Early 20.
Wow, he's finished. He's over the hill. He's only 5 years younger than we are.
I know. Exactly. He's old. That's a scary prospect. This is what you say watching like F2 and F3. It's like, I was born in 2008. You know you weren't. No one was born in 2008. It's impossible. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Utterly ridiculous.
But there we go. Maybe Alex Dunn will win the race. That'd be nice.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. I think F2, though, at Montreal will just be hilarious carnage. And I can't wait for it.
Have they been to Montreal recently with F2?
Nope, they've never been. They've never been to North America, have they? Until Miami.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Well, there you go. That'll be fun. Nicholas Solov, currently in the championship, Red Bull Junior. Gabriele Mini, who was my tip for something at the start of the season, is second.
Did we do F3 predictions this year?
We did. I think we did F2. Year? I'm not sure we did F3.
Oh, F3 this year, you said Dunn, Kamara, Mini. I said Herta, Dunn, and Stenshorn. Oh.
Where's Colton Herta?
Oh,
he's
no,
13th.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, dear me.
He's not having fun so far.
Oh, no, what, Stenshorn? Is he doing well? He's 16th. There you go.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I feel like you've transferred your junior driver kiss of death over to me.
And the two that I predicted in the top three are currently second and third, so that's going quite well. Right, should we just start counting predictions for F2 only and just bin off these F1 ones?
That might help you out this season. Jamie, we've got some other quite big news, some off-track antics to talk about. First of all, I think this one might be music to our ears, but I'll be intrigued to see how the viewers feel about it. Esteban Ocon might get binned off this year. Or might get binned off mid-season, which seems bizarre.
I feel like you've transformed into an Esteban Ocon hater in the last, 6 months. So,
I feel like I've always been an Esteban Ocon hater.
I've never warmed to him, but I think he's good enough for the grid. But apparently, Ayo Komatsu disagrees. So, yeah, the rumour was saying that he might just get binned off mid-season at Haas. Obviously, he's not a particularly good start to the season comparatively to Ollie Behrman. But he's not been awful. You know, I mean, I guess he's got 1 point actually.
He's got 1 point to Behrman's 17, which of course is horrible at the start of the season if Haas do fall back into the pack, which it already looks like they might be. Yeah,
it's true. I think this would be harsh based on performance, but apparently he's a bit of a diva to work with, or is not the easiest person in the world to work with in the team. But
and
they've
apparently
had
Komatsu this year, because the thing is, this is the first time ever it's felt like in Ocon's career that his teammate... I was going to say he's had a world-class teammate, but of course he's been up against Fernando Alonso.
And Pierre Gasly.
And although he technically beat Fernando Alonso in their time together, but he's getting absolutely kicked around by Ollie Behrman. So I wonder if it's kind of, you know, all that... We've always said, haven't we? We've always been like, you just know Ocon's a bit kind of... You sit down for a team briefing and he goes, I just want to talk to the manager afterwards, just me and the boss. Kind of that kind of vibe. Like, I just want to talk to you afterwards by myself. That's all right when you're at least competitive with your teammate. But if you're like clearly the number 2 so far this year, which he has been, Ayo Komatsu, it seems like he's got a personal issue with him as well, rather than just a working issue with him. It's not just that he isn't getting the jobs done. It seems like Ayo Komatsu just genuinely doesn't like him. Yeah,
it seems like he's just not gelling at the moment, and I think it's unlikely that we end up with him out of the grid in the middle of the season, but because I feel like we always get to about Canada, and there's always talk of a driver losing their seat in the middle of the season. It's always been Sergio Perez, or it was Brendan Hartley back in the day, or was there someone else at Red Bull at one point? Maybe.
There's always been people at Red Bull at some point.
But yeah, I feel like for me, it's unlikely he's going to get binned in the middle of the season, but I certainly think if at the end, there's quite a good chance of it.
Well, the thing is as well, who do you replace him with? You've just mentioned Rafael Kamara, but I feel like that would be too difficult to try and rush him up mid-season.
I also think they wouldn't go for 2 Ferrari juniors, because I know that Behrman is not really a junior driver anymore, but that seat at Haas has always been a Haas-owned driver. They could bring back Kevin Magnussen.
How's that worked for them?
Yeah. Kevin Magnussen round 3 at Haas, do you think?
Oh, it would be hilarious, wouldn't it, if he ended up going back to Haas again? I mean, they could get their reserve driver in. Well, the thing is, you mentioned Magnussen. He literally won at Spa for BMW a couple of weekends ago.
Did he?
And seems to be having a whale of a time in WEC.
So that would
surely be just just be down to whether he wants the bag or not, wouldn't it?
Whichever Cadillac has binned off for Colton Herta.
Yeah, but will they bin anybody off for Colton Herta at the moment? As we just said, he's 13th in the championship. I mean, they could get their reserve driver in, Jamie, which is...
I don't know. Who's Haas?
Jack Doohan.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You know what? I'd like to see Doohan drive something else than a terrible Alpine. But I don't think he will.
Absolutely. If he got wiped the floor with Gasly, he's going to get wiped the floor with Behrman.
Especially as Behrman's used to the car and the team environment already. Yeah, possibly not. One of the Williams might be on the way out of Williams at the end of the year. But I don't think they'd want to go to Haas unless they were binned off of Williams.
No, the thing is, we've always said as well, isn't it? Haas is where F1 careers go to die.
Yeah.
So you just know, if one of the Williams drivers got binned off, they'd spend a year or two at Haas and then they'd be gone.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Could you throw in anybody else?
Maybe Colapinto.
I'm trying to have a look. Are there any Ferrari? You haven't really got any Ferrari WEC drivers you can try to throw in. And I know you've said that it's only a Haas-only seat. I don't know. It's so weird, because, you're kind of like going, I understand you might want to get rid of him, but you're kind of like going, who do you replace him with?
He's a well-known quantity. He's a decent driver. I don't see them binning him off for someone absolutely awful.
But then again, this is Haas.
But
Haas do some dumb stuff.
They've not been that sporadic with their driver lineups in the past, have they?
They were going to keep Mazepin for a second year.
Well, they were going to, yeah, but that was like.
And then if they kept Mazepin for that second year, they probably wouldn't be on the grid anymore.
Well, they'd have a lot more money.
They wouldn't. They would have spent it all on crash damage.
True. Yeah, and they went a bit rogue. Obviously, when Grosjean got injured, and they put in which Fittipaldi was it? One of
Pietro. But he was their reserve again.
He was. He was just absolutely dreadful, wasn't he? But the end of 2020 was just funny for the amount of random drivers on that grid.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain at one point I saw your hat being thrown into the ring.
Yeah, I'd have gone for it. Why not? I wouldn't be able to steer the car, but that'd be quite fun.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If we go to Arvesring and it's a straight line, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I would love to see you pooting around Arvis at 80 miles an hour. That'd be so funny. How quick do you reckon you would, like on a perfect drag strip, no wind, nothing like that, how quick do you reckon you would be able to take an F1 car?
In a straight line?
Yeah.
I'd get on for, obviously not max speed, but I reckon I'd go at least 150 miles an hour.
Fair enough.
Like, I drove,
Fair enough.
even when me and Kez drove to Austria, I got my Corsa to 115. So
No, you didn't. The Speedo said 115.
We did.
Did you drive it off the cliff?
No.
There is not a chance you got that car to 115 then.
We did. You can ask Kez about it later.
You probably got it over a ton. I mean, you've just admitted to something very illegal.
In Germany
as well.
Is.
Oh,
it
was it?
illegal.
Yes, weird.
Yeah.
Why are you going through Germany?
We drove to
Seems
Austria.
an odd way to go. Seems like an odd way to go. I thought you go through France.
No.
France and Switzerland.
You can't. Why? That's the Alps. How are you going to drive across there?
I just assumed your Corsa could do everything. I assumed.
It goes 115 up on the Autobahn, so maybe.
Up the Autobahn? Not even down. It would have done 130.
There you go.
Jamie, I'm confident in saying I've never done more than 70 miles an hour on our road network.
Well, I haven't on the British road network, but yeah. Less of that anyway.
I can't wait to label this episode Jamie admits to a felony.
In Germany on the Autobahn, it's absolutely fine.
I refuse to believe your car did 150.
My old car. My new car.
I believe the Speedo said it did 150. I don't believe it actually did 115 miles an hour.
It was definitely
talking about cars that can they do 100? I don't know if they can do 150 miles an hour, Jamie. Big revelation in the last couple of days. BYD, Chinese, generally known for their electric cars, but they also do hybrids. They are apparently interested in coming into F1.
Yeah, and probably as a brand new team as well.
Yeah.
There's been
unless they buy a V car that apparently might get sold.
There has been talk for years and years about a Chinese manufacturer coming in. It was always the likes of like Panthera or like Dragon.
Oh yeah,
the team that was going to buy Mercedes at one point, where they got set up in company's house. It's probably a matter of time. Obviously, the China's car market is absolutely huge, and with the kind of rise of electric vehicles as well, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this happens.
Well, GQ now is the most popular car in the UK. New car
Really?
being bought. Yeah.
Wow.
That big
You
GQ Land
do see
Rover fake.
a lot more of them. Like, feels like any car that's new at the moment is an electric car in the UK. So, or at least a hybrid.
For the most part.
Yeah, the bigger story here for I think the British Formula 1 fans is that BYD might be coming with Christian Horner. So he might be on his way back to F1, which is obviously great news for everyone, apart from the HR department
I assume Chinese
at BYD.
internet hasn't quite got news of his articles yet, but there we are.
No, but obviously he's been looking for a way back for about a year since he got binned by Red Bull. We'll see if BYD are the ones. Obviously, I don't know how much Christian Horner was involved when Red Bull were working with Honda, which is obviously an international East Asian manufacturer. I don't know if that's going to help him at all if he does end up working with BYD, but it might do. And
I can't imagine so. They're very, very different countries.
They are.
Very, very different kind of... I mean,
culturally,
culturally, they're very,
ethic,
very different still. Very, very different. I mean, it would be fascinating, wouldn't it? I mean, again, it's another manufacturer, and of course, Formula One, literally over the last couple of weeks, have been banging on about how they want less manufacturers, because this is kind of why we've ended up with this whole hybrid regulation that doesn't really work in the way anybody hoped it would, but we kind of all knew it might do. I'm stacked, because I feel like, again, we've just said about how different China and Japan are. I wonder if BYD would kind of fall into the Toyota trap of not understanding F1's politics well enough.
And maybe they would just come in and assume they're going to win because they're like the biggest economy in the world and one of the biggest countries in the world.
Oh, you've just upset every American that listens to this show.
Well, are China a bigger economy than America, or are they close?
No.
Okay, well, the second biggest economy in the world.
It's absolutely fallen away in the last few years.
There you go, second biggest economy in the world. Yeah, it would be interesting to see. I'd love to see what Donald Trump would make of it when they went to COTA, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I'd rather not think about that. I mean, they wouldn't be coming until after Trump's gone.
Well,
so
ideally,
from presidency, I probably should specify there. From presidency, you've got to be careful of what you say.
You're going to get arrested by the CIA for conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have ice knocking at my door in a minute. They've got a boat over or something like that. we've dug ourselves a rabbit hole there, haven't we? That we need to try and get out of quite quickly. But, 12 teams back on the grid, that'd be really cool as well. But there are also talks that apparently Red Bull might have to sell VCarb, or at least they've apparently listed them for I can't remember his name now. £2 billion.
Austin Powers.
Exactly, Austin Powers. 2 billion, I think it was dollars actually, not pounds. But apparently it comes with so many kind of restrictions and things that they basically have said, we're selling it, but we're not really selling it.
Yeah, you've got to be willing to bend to Red Bull's every move.
It'll be things like you've got to keep the base in Faenza, you've got to do all this, that, and the other. There'll be long-term contracts in place for a lot of other things as well. So they're willing to sell it, and it might take some crazy rich investor to come in. Have we got what's the podcast spare change pot? Actually,
Probably
is that
not
2 billion yet?
2 billion, I don't think. Maybe Paul Stoddart wants it back. Bring back Minardi.
I can't imagine Paul Stoddart wants it back.
But that is actually why it has to stay in Faenza, because when he sold to Red Bull, he basically demanded that, and that was non-negotiable for him. So, yeah, good job, Paul Stoddart. Again, one of my all-time wish list guests on this show.
We have always said if the podcast was less PG, Paul Stoddart would be a great person to have on.
Do you think we're PG? You've already mentioned ice and taking you out.
Yeah, I'd still argue we're probably slightly more PG than what Paul Stoddart might say. We've all heard that iconic Indy 05 interview, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, quite possibly.
Oh man. Right. What else we got to talk about, Jamie? I mean, we kind of mentioned we've rattled through quite a few bits and pieces that we wanted to talk about. Have you got a quiz for me?
I have got a quiz because it's obviously the Canadian Grand Prix this weekend.
It certainly is.
That certainly is what we're talking about. So, who is the greatest Canadian F1 driver of all time?
Are we talking statistically or opinion based?
In my opinion.
I would assume, statistically, it's Zach Villeneuve. I would assume we're talking about his dad, though.
No, we're talking about Lance Stroll.
Oh.
We're talking about one-time pole sitter Lance Stroll.
Okay.
And
have I got a name for the place he got poled?
Well, that would be a good start. You've got to name anyone who scored a point in the race when Lance Stroll started on pole position.
Oh, good heavens.
And if you get one wrong, you're done.
Oh, the good heavens. So, Hamilton obviously won, winning his 7th world title.
You haven't even named the race yet, so that'll help our viewers out.
Well, it's Turkey 2020.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fine. Hamilton won the race, winning his 7th world title.
He did.
Perez was P2.
He was.
Because there's now also like a huge articulated lorry reversing outside my house, so I apologise if you can all hear that. Perez was P2. Seb nabbed the final podium spot off Charles literally at the last corner.
Correct. 4 out of 10 so far.
Yeah, Seb and Charles. Max, I assume, was points.
Correct, he was.
Yeah, that's fine. Where did he finish?
6th.
Is that 5th? Oh, 6th. Okay. I'm trying to think. I know, obviously, there were quite a few. I know Bottas had an absolute stinker, so I don't think he scored. Sainz?
Sainz was 5th for McLaren.
I was going to say, I feel like Sainz had a good race there.
Started 15th. Finished 5th.
Yeah, he had a very good race. I feel like Lando scored low-end points, or he might have actually been 11th. No. Before I say it, I'm going to say Albon.
Correct, P7.
Yeah. I'm going to say Stroll as well. I'm pretty certain did score points.
He did in P9. Yeah, I actually think Stroll genuinely should have won that race. The team messed up the strategy. So
yeah, but they didn't know they messed up, and then he did also then absolutely fall off the wagon afterwards.
Everyone in the top 5 was on these like slick to mediates.
It was only Hamilton and Perez in the end that nailed the strategy. More.
And Stroll put on new inters, and they just did not work.
Because this was the fun fact as well. Didn't Esteban Ocon go this entire race without pitting? I'm pretty certain he was the first driver since like 1996 to go an entire race without pitting at all.
That's not on my article.
Oh, was that 21 then?
Well, I've just got the 2020 Turkish Grand Prix Wikipedia, which doesn't have pit stops on it. So
I feel like I'm
that.
pretty certain Ocon, went the entire race without pitting, but I don't know if he scored.
I still can't find the pit stops. Is that an answer?
Only if it's right.
No, you got to commit to it. Come on.
What's that? Oh no, because he might have done that in 21 actually. I feel like he might have tried to do that in 21, so I'm going to hold off on Ocon. I mean, I've got 8 out of 10 so
you got
far.
8 out of 10. There's 2 more. You're missing P8 and P10.
Yeah. Russell definitely didn't. I think he was close to points though, but didn't score.
He was actually last of everyone who finished.
Oh, he was, okay. I mean, yeah, that was probably still close to points in that race. Because you've always got that hilarious clip, haven't you, of Grosjean, who gets wiped out by someone. It goes, mate, what is he doing? And then spins himself as he gets back on and goes, oh no! It wasn't Mazepin, was it? No, definitely not. Or Shu. No, because Mazepin wasn't there that year. I'm thinking of 21.
Where were the Hasses, yeah.
Yeah, that was Magnussen and Grosjean. I think both DNF'd. I'm going to say, I feel like Ocon DNF'd. I feel like Ricciardo wiped someone out of turn 1. But I don't know whether he scored. I'm going to have to just guess some names, aren't I?
Yes.
I'm going to say Esteban Ocon.
Esteban Ocon finished P11. Unlucky.
Was it Lando? Did he finish 10th?
Lando was 8th with the fastest lap.
Oh, okay.
And
I, for some reason, had in my head that he might have finished 11th.
10th was Danny Rick.
You
are right, though. Ricciardo and Ocon crashed at turn 1 when they were teammates.
Yes. Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Though it's kind of Sergio Perez's fault. Was it Perez's? No, someone was up the inside. Was it Albon? There was someone up the inside of both of them, and it took them both out. Yeah,
they basically had to avoid someone else, didn't they? Who steamrolled in and got away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Good quiz.
Was that 2020 or 2021?
I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't say on my article. And I looked on the F1 website, and it also doesn't say.
It was Ocon in 21. Sorry, not 2020.
Did he make a pit stop?
Yeah, he was the first time since 1996. I'm pretty certain. 97. Sorry, Mika Salo ran the entire Grand Prix at Monaco. Like pitting as well, so it was the first time in 25 years.
Did you know that 1996 world champion Damon Hill, on commentary, said that Stroll drove beautifully despite finishing P9?
Yeah, but this is also the same Damon Hill that when I saw him in the Silverstone paddock a few years ago, he was literally having a conversation with someone that he thought it was ridiculous that Yuri Vips lost his seat for saying the N-word on a live stream. So swings and roundabouts.
That was Liam Lawson's greatest ever move in F1 career, was streaming Yuri Vips playing.
It was. He genuinely was. The only reason he got the drive when he did, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Vips was definitely ahead of Lawson in the pecking order back then. So
he was. He absolutely was at that point. Absolutely.
Anyway,
predictions, Jamie.
Yes.
Last but not least, we got 10 points available. What are the scores on the doors?
You are beating me, which is obviously not.
I
good.
am. It's great. I don't know what you're on about.
You're on 16, I'm on 12. It's early days. I'm a bit of a George Russell. Might need a win here.
Yeah.
I am going first, and it's a sprint race.
Yeah.
So
you could be back ahead of me by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, it could be. That's how close it is. I am going to say sprint winner will be Kimi Antonelli.
Okay.
Grand Prix pole sitter will be George Russell.
Okay.
Winner will be George Russell.
Okay.
Followed by... Oh, I might just throw one out there. Followed by Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri.
Interesting.
I'm going for a scabby P2, P3 with Antonelli winning and Russell having a terrible race again.
What's the weather doing this weekend?
It's slightly moist on Sunday. It might rain, which would be quite fun.
Okay. Yeah, there's a risk of rain, isn't there? It's quite a low risk, but there is a risk of rain. No, there is. Oh, but it's pre-Grand Prix though. I think
it's early on.
There's a 65% chance. 65% chance of rain about midday.
Good words for someone who's 300 episodes into a podcast.
Exactly. Yeah, I can almost words much goodly now.
What's your job again?
I can't remember off the top of my head. No, not me, sir. Not me. Can you just type yours in so I don't accidentally say the same things?
There you go.
I'm going to say George Russell, sprint winner. I'm going to say... Leclerc pole.
Oh, dearie me.
Yeah.
I guess Ferrari have been actually all right, haven't they?
Yeah, but not over one lap. They haven't been there with Ferrari.
Well, yeah.
We've got to get to the point of the season now. We've had a Leclerc bottle on last lap. Now we need a Leclerc one lap magic to remind everybody that he's not awful.
I suppose.
I'm going to say Antonelli.
Race winner.
Yep. I'm going to say Russell P2. And, I mean, it would be absolutely a Leclerc Grand Prix for him to start pole and not podium.
It would
so
be.
I'm going to say Max Verstappen, P3.
Wow. First podium of the season.
Yeah.
I don't see it, personally.
I can't wait for that Red Bull to qualify 12th now and just be dog awful again.
Yeah. I wouldn't be here for that. But it's probably going to happen.
Fair enough. Have we got anything else to add, Jamie?
I don't think so. Unless you want to add anything fun at the end.
I think we've smashed through everything we wanted to this morning. So all good news in the world of F1. I mean, it is the biggest weekend in motorsport, Jamie. So I'm very excited for it. But of course, obviously, it does come with some. Just say last night I was in the middle of a NASCAR race myself, and it came with some awful news. I did say when someone came into my chat, just said it to me. I genuinely thought they were joking. First of all, but Kyle Busch. NASCAR across the top 3 series, the most successful driver of all time. If it kind of at the moment, it's still very, very fresh. It's still, we don't really know a lot, but seemingly almost out of nowhere. Unfortunately, he's passed away, 41 years old. So I think it's safe to say for both of us, although admittedly you don't follow NASCAR anywhere near as much as I do. But he literally won a race last week, so he went out on top. But yeah, so obviously all our thoughts and feelings currently are with Kyle Busch's family. I mean, he's got a young son who's getting into the racing world. But yeah, Kyle Busch, 41 years old, so a bit of a somber note to end the show on as well. But thank you all, as always, so much for listening. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. And when are we back, Jamie? Are we back Monday?
Possibly Monday, yeah. Monday.
I assume you'll be doing some weird stuff Monday. You'll be off gallivanting up a hill or something, or running around the city.
Yeah.
We'll aim for Monday. We'll aim for Monday morning, nice and early, I hope. Jamie's gone. I thought he was going to say something to that, but yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Oh.
Stay safe. Look after yourselves. And yeah, we'll be back hopefully Monday then, if Jamie ever actually decides he wants to talk to me again, but apparently not.
I've stopped recording.
He's not even recording anymore.
It's just going to cut off. I just press stop and that pause.
Well, there you go. I'm gonna wave goodbye to the audience now.
You're not going to leave all this in.
Yeah, I am. It's all going in. I'm gonna end recording now.